I love a surprise studio too. I never know what I'm doing. I'm only joking. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me in the studio today. It's rubbish weather again. Never mind, hey, you've got us and we've got you and you've got us. How's that sound? So today in studio we're going to do something a little bit different, revisit some probably earlier products of ours and just have a play. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the little HD button, and don't forget to click the bell. I know I ask you to do so much, but these are little reminders that give you the heads up when we are live or when we're promoting something or when we're going to be in studio. And then the new thing that we just started yesterday was, please, after the show on the YouTube video, if you could click the like button and pop a comment below. This gives us a wider reach to people and it encourages other people to join in for our live studio. So don't forget to pop a like and a comment underneath the video when we've finished the live studio, because albeit we have our lovely comments on here, they do actually disappear and nobody sees them, and nobody sees how many people have actually enjoyed the hour with us here at Stamps by Me Studio. So hello lovely ladies, all my bestie friends, Pat, Pepper, Joan, Paul, Joe, Anna, Bridget, Lorraine, Jan, Selma, there's so many of you. Good afternoon. It's just after 1 o'clock. I'm sorry we're late. It just wouldn't connect and I was having one of those moments where I was just about to, you know, kick and scream saying, I need this to go ahead. So, and we're here, so fingers crossed it stays that way. So in today's studio, we're not going to be using Craft Academy, but as you all know, Craft Academy is going to be on Monday with the lovely heart and hand stamp. If you're wanting to know which one that one is, let's just lovely one here. I know a lot of you have already purchased it. It's this lovely one here. And we're going to be working with this one from Monday. There we go. And tomorrow I'm going to launch 2 more stamps live in studio at 1 o'clock as well. So and they're 2 lovely ones too, albeit they've all been lovely and I have thoroughly enjoyed working with them all, because they've made me step out of my box as well and try and think of new techniques and new ideas. So it's really encouraged me to give new things a go as well. And we'll launch them tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Don't forget though, I have a Facebook Live tomorrow at 11 o'clock also showing you the new Christmas stamps that are being launched on Create and Craft on Tuesday. Okay, so don't forget to join me on that one. The little SBM family is growing, you're right, Joe. Probably most of you on here have been with us from probably the beginning when we first started our studio, so it's lovely to see lots more new faces. Not that you're all old and dithery and old hat and all, but we do love you and thank you for tuning in all the time. It does make us happy. So what we're going to do today in studio is we're going to do some stencil work, and we're just going to show you a few options of how to use your stencils, make them look a little bit arty, and basically dig out some of those stencils that you've probably bought and not touched for a long time. I'm going to use 2 of our earlier ones, which are the mask stencils, the lovely leaves. But if you don't have them, don't worry about it. You might have something in your stash that can replicate or you can do this technique with. So have a look in your stash and see what you've got. If you're wanting to craft along, you can. You just need 2 pieces of about A5 watercolour card and a couple of stencils. So I'll let you run off and grab those while somebody's making a cup of tea and somebody's having a biscuit and you're all enjoying yourselves. Anything else to tell you about? Don't think so. It's all good. It's all good. I think we're all happy. So, have you all got your cup of tea? Are we ready to go? Okay, let's do this. So if you do like any of the products, you just pop FBL into our search engine. That's www.stampsbymE.co.uk, and it brings up all the products that we've used in studio or new products or things that have been added to the store. So not only is it things that we do in here, I've started popping them in there as well for what we've got new in store. So we've got some more inks and bits and bobs and things that you might need to top up on. But as always, you don't have to buy our products. You can stay on this channel every single day and get the inspiration if you want to. Looking forward to the hand and heart stamp, Maxine. Yeah, me too. I have been playing with it. One did go in the bin. We'll not talk about that. So I have these 2 lovely stencils here. So I have the lovely large leaf here. You can see this one here. A lot of you have probably got these, and this one, and this was when we launched our mixed media paints, but today we're going to chop it up a little bit and create something that's going to look quite arty You know how I love to try and replicate art with our stamps and dies and stencils? Well, we're going to do that with these today. So I have, let's have a think about this one. 2 pieces of watercolour card. If you are crafting along, they're 8 by 5. Not massive today, so 8 by 5, so just 2 pieces there. And we're going to do 2 cards today at the same time, but a little bit different. I'm just reading the lovely comments. You're very welcome, Leslie. You're very welcome. So what I'm going to do first of all is, as you all know, I always like my work to not be floating. I like it to be sat on some background, whether that be something light or light wash of something. So that's what I'm going to do. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my palette first. And I'm just going to use like a really pale ochre colour. You might refer to it as a mustardy colour. This colour here, you see that there? This is the colour that I'm going to use. So a really pale colour. You could go really pale pink if you wanted to. And I'm just going to pop some on, mix some up here and just pop some onto my mat here. So basically I'm just creating a wash first of all for the background of our stencils. So today we're going really arty, okay? So people probably would never know that you've done these cards with stencils. So great cheat, but great learning as well, because it'll make you understand layering colours and things like that. So first of all, what I'm going to do on this piece of card here on the left, I'm just going to wet it again, just like we did yesterday. So I'm just popping a little bit of a wash down here. So I'm not flooding it, but I'm making it shiny. Once it's shiny, you know you've got enough on there. Then I'm just going to pick up some of this lovely colour here. I'm just going to brush it in. And it's just going to take that edge off my card. So I'll brush it in right to the edge. And it doesn't matter if you have dark spots, light spots, lines, anything like that. You can go a little bit darker. Just remember, it does dry back pretty light, so have the courage to at least get some colour on the card. Don't be scared of it. So there we go. So that's one done. Let's do the second one. So another piece of card. Let's put our wash down. And when you put a wash down, if it's shiny, you've got enough on there. If it's matte, it means there's not enough there. So I'll just get that colour down. And I'm just going to pick up some of that lovely ochre colour there. Just going to drop some of this in here. Just so our artwork, when we come to pop it on, is not floating. Okay, that's all we're doing. It dries. Look at this one here. It's pretty much gone. So do have the colour. Do have the courage, colour. I know I like colour. Have the courage to get it on there. And it doesn't matter if you've got lines, because it's just to stop our artwork from floating. If you look in all of the fancy botanical books and things like that, not that I read them because I'm boring or anything like that, but I do like to, I don't often get a chance to try it, but I do like to read how you create composition with watercolours and you stop your artwork and things from floating. And probably I would say, oh excuse me, that were loud. Probably I would say 70% of the books that I've looked at and read have all said it is better to make your artwork have perspective with a wash of colour in the background. So whether it's a suggestion of greens to replicate maybe some leaves in the background or something like that, it's a great starting point to put an initial wash down first. So I'm just going to dry these two off very quickly. As you can see, it's practically disappeared. Not much colour down, but enough to stop our work from floating. Size brush, normally I use a 4. It's a 4, just a small one. You don't need to have all the sizes in brushes, albeit I have a lot. I do like brushes, but for crafting you don't need a lot. 4 is probably your go-to, unless you're wanting to do real fine detail, then a 2 or a 1. So let's just make sure that this is absolutely dry, and then we'll go on to the fun stuff. There we go. So let's do one at a time. So let's do this one first. So these are quite large masks. So what I'm going to do is, it's always a good idea as well not to just stick it in the middle and have it floating like that. It's always good if you can lose a part of the image off your page. It gives it more of an arty feel rather than just like, yep, we've put the stencil in the middle and we've popped something through. It's a bit boring. So let's just twist it off a little bit so you've got some of the detail on there, like so. Now, if you're not the best stenciler in the world, you can tape them down, but I just like to go for it. And in this card, for a change, I don't have no idea how it's going to turn out, I'll be honest with you, but I'm going to go blues and black. The monochromatic one was a great success yesterday, so I'm trying to replicate it in some way. Whether it works or not, it doesn't matter, but you know, we've got to give these colours a try, haven't we? So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that in place. I am using the small sponge daubers today to get in all the detail. You can use your big ones as well for this technique. Probably not on this one though, because the area is quite small. But on this one, you could definitely use one. And you might have your old sponge ones to get in all the detail. So, food for thought on that one. So let's get the lids off here. Card am I using? I'm using watercolour card, the Carter, which is on our website, which is our own watercolour card. That's in FBL. No white top folding note cards in stock yet. Soon though. And do you have the brushes available on your website? The brushes are back in stock and they're on FBL too. Also are the sponge daubers. The paint palette is going to be back in stock in about 2 weeks. I'm just waiting for that one. Everything I'm using is in stock. The ink pads, Timolts, everything I'm using should be there for you. So go and have a nosy. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the colours I'm using. I've got Black Soot, I have Mermaid Lagoon, and I have Chipped Sapphire. So let's go for it, hey? So let's lay down a colour of black first, do we think? No, let's go blue. Let's not push it. So I'm just going to hold this in place and I'm just going to sponge through. I'm not bothered if the ink goes outside of the stencil, and you will see why in a second. So I'm just getting an initial colour down in those leaves. So I'm just doing a light. You can actually pull and drag with these ones as well, but these are not self-cleaning, so you need to use one per colour. Obviously you've got a lot of colours, a lot of them in there anyway, but one per colour, don't mix because they do contaminate. So I'm just getting that lovely colour on there. This is a lovely colour. This one's Mermaid Lagoon. So you can see I'm not being precious about it. I'm just getting some colour down, and you'll see why soon. Just going to turn my artwork around a little bit so I can get in. Just move it in shot for you a little bit better. So I've got an initial layer of colour. Now I'm going to have to swap my dauber because I'm moving on to a different blue here. And then the other blue, I'm just going to push around And this one is chipped sapphire, so this has got a purple undertone, which is fine. So I'm just filling in those gaps. So your stencil, whatever you're using, will have gaps because every stencil has to be connected in some way, so you will have gaps. So you have to fill those gaps with a colour, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm just getting that purple into those gaps. Like so. So I'm just going to pop it back in place. I'm just going to take the colour and take it around the edge so it frames the actual leaf. So we have an indication that it does look like a large leaf. You're all probably thinking now, where on earth is this going? Oh my gosh. I have a vision, she says, I have a vision. I honestly do have a vision. Whether it works or not is another matter. But so I'm just basically going round to frame the leaf. So all the way around, filling all those gaps in. It doesn't have to, if you get lines, don't worry about it because it's all going to change in a second. So there we have something that's a bit messy. It looks all right, you get away with that though. I think that's not a bad effort at all, is it? So let's just get some of, pop it back on. And what I'm going to do is I'm now going to use a little bit of the black. Have we got any questions? Because I'm enjoying myself, so. You can wash the finger daubers if you want to. Thank you, Lillian. Did everybody hear that? You can wash them. I'm tipping with just some hot soapy water or something. And then I'm just going to pick up some of the black and I'm just going to pop a little bit of black into here. Make sure I pick up the right colour. So any colours, I'm just going trying to do a little bit of monochromatic, and you'll see it will become a monochromatic card by the end. It probably doesn't look like it at the moment, but it will. So there we go. So we've got something pretty cool coming together, by no way means finished though. So what we need to do now is we need to spray it with water. Okay, so let me just move my ink pads out of the way because we will be revisiting them. Oh my gosh, make sure I don't mix them up. So if you have a nice flower stencil, that will work. A background stencil, that will probably work too. The only difference is the handle and the curve on the hair with regards to the brushes. So with this one you have the curved handle and the hair is curved, and that's for people who can't grip like a normal grip of pick something up, like a grip like that. This is for people who need to physically curl their hand and grip something like that, if that makes sense. The other ones with the toggle are for people who can just hold a brush and the hair's flat in those because the pressure is from above. So I hope that helps. So if you're used to using your blending brushes with a toggle on top, like the wooden, oh I've got one here, look, like the wooden, if you're used to using one of these handles, there we go, one of these handles, then this toggle top this is the textured one, but this toggle at the top is the one that you should really buy. If you have dexterity problems, there we go. If you have dexterity problems and your clutch is not good or you get really bad cramp, the arch is probably the better one for you. Okay, hope that helps. So let's just pop that one away. So let's just give this a spray. I'm just going to give this a spray now. All over. So there we can go. You can see the colours all now starting to bleed together. Starting to look like a muddy mess, whatever you want to call it. And then just going to get a bit of tissue because it's sort of like this. Can we see it there? Yeah? So then just get a bit of tissue, push it back a little bit, And this is how you're going to get like a bit of a skeleton sort of effect. So you could absolutely just do this sort of technique and be happy with that, because I think that looks beautiful. So you could you can blow dry it, heat gun that one, blow dry it, and leave it be if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to set this aside because I want to move on to card 2, and I'm just going to let that naturally air dry, because if you have the time and patience to let things air dry naturally, you do get a better result. So I'm just going to try and curve it up a little bit, like so. So let's move on to, I'm just going to push that to the side. This is looking, can I just put camera on that? It's looking pretty awesome, is that? I'm pleased with it already, and we haven't even done what I planned to do. Pretty cool, hey? So that's cool. Matches the colours of my top, it does actually. So let's move on to number 2. With this one, we're going to do a rainbow card. And again, I'm going to use the stencil or mask, whatever you're using. And I'm going to do it just slightly off the corner, like so. And let's get a rainbow of colours. So the ones I have to hand, I just grab these ones here. So I have carved pumpkin, festive berries, candied apple, twisted citron, mustard seed. So let's go and be creative, hey, let's have some fun. So on this one, I'm just going to go really, really random. So let's just pop some orange in spaces. I'm not concentrating on any specific area, I've just picked up the other colour there by mistake. And let's just get some lovely colour down. You could do lovely autumnal colours if you wanted to, and really like make it look arty. I'm now using festive berries, dropping some red in there. Do tape it down if you haven't got the grab to, you know, hold your artwork in place. I'm just literally going for it. So a bit of red on there. Swap that out for, oh, I've got did I just do candied apple? I did. I didn't pick up, thank goodness. So let's do some green. I think I need a new one of these greens because it's not very strong at all. Can we see that? It's a bit rubbish. Oh, elbow in my work. Whoops-a-daisy. I'll try and get some green on there if it'll allow. It's really bright on the lid, but it's not as bright as what it is when... I'm still going for it because that's the only one I've got. And then let's do the yellow. Is that still in shot? Yeah. Okay, and then let's do the yellow. And this one is mustard seed. Just filling in all those gaps where potentially couldn't get enough green laid down. So this is going to be a beautiful, bright and breezy card, and the other one's going to be like a monochromatic type style card. She's hoping. That's the vision. So you can see there we've got our lovely sort of leaf coming together. So what we need to do now is we need to go, like we did with the other one, we need to go around and bring it together so you can see it's actually a leaf. So let's go around with the, I don't know what happened there, I think I missed out festive berries, so let's go, I think I just jumped to candied apple. So festive berries is the colour that we're going to do around the outside. Oof, crikey, it's going to be a bright card. So here I'm just going around the outside then. I did say I was doing a bright card, didn't I? do like a bit of colour. So there we go. So we've got something again that's pretty ugly at the moment, but it's still soon gonna come to life. Let's just push those aside. Quick drink of the tea. That name is perfect, the Troll Terminator. Did I miss something? I've been too busy crafting. I've been too busy enjoying. Doesn't the world stop when you craft? It's great, isn't it? I wish time stopped too though. Right, so I've got this lovely sort of effect. So same as before, I'm just going to elevate it a little bit by adding that water. We'll just let it work its magic for a second or two. Keep a tidy station on there. So I'm just going to soak up some of these puddles a little bit. So you can't hurt anything, it's a bit of card, isn't it? So just where there were some few big puddles. So I'll just bring this one back in, that's practically dry now. Look how cool this one is. So I'm just letting that work its magic. Doreen, we are thinking about you, everybody's thinking about you. Don't really know what else to say, sweetheart, but we are all thinking about you. So I'm going to set this one to the side to dry. And we're going to bring this one back in. Okay, so here's where you can start to be a little bit creative with your colouring and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in, now you can use the ink pads that you've used to create the background, so you could use these if you wanted to. Yeah, let's stick with what we've got going on, and then if anybody's crafting along, you're not going to be overwhelmed with all the product. So put some black in there, and then we'll pop some of this lovely blue, the colours that we've used on our background, and then we'll pop some, it's a lovely chipped sapphire on the other one here. I'm just going to grab a smaller brush if I have one to hand. Yeah, I have. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to paint the leaves back in. Does that make sense? But we're going to make them look quite like arty, or try. So all I'm doing, basically the colour underneath will reactivate when you put your water on there. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop my water onto the leaf here. Pop some water in there. And then we'll pick up some of this black. I'm just going to paint some black in. Can we see that there? Then we're going to pick up some of the lovely other colour that's in there as well. Got a little bit of a nasty bleed there, which I don't like, so I'm going to try and tie it in. Now you don't have to do this stage, you really do not have to do this. It's just gonna maybe step out of your comfort zone a little bit and do something a little bit different. It's a stencil, so we're gonna try to make it look different, be more creative with our stash. Let's be more arty if we can. So I'm using the black as a bit of an outline. I'm dropping the black in there like so, and then I'm leaving a little bit of a space to drop in some of the other colours. Now don't look at this card and think, what on earth is she doing? She's absolutely annihilating that. Really, I should have let it dry as well, guys, because I'm getting a nasty bleed and it's not very nice because it's still wet. In fact, before I go any further, I am going to dry it with my gun because I'm ruining it. Where is my gun? Just 1 second. So make sure before you start this second phase, you dry it off with your gun. There we go. So pretend we're starting now. So I'm basically just colouring some of that black in there because it's dry now, and I'm just painting those leaves back in with a light wash of black and the blue. So I'm going to quickly fly through the rest of these here, just laying a little bit of a wash down. I'm trying not to connect to that one with that one because it'll bleed together. And remember, it always dries back lighter. So it's just a very light wash of the black over the leaves where you've left the accent. And then adding some blue in there, or whatever you've got in your stash if you're using blue, or I've dropped a little bit of the chip sapphire in this one just to make it a little bit different. So let's whiz on by and do the others quickly, or else we're going to be here all day. I'll be thinking, this is great, Tony, but my gosh. Soon get sick of me, I'm sure. So in some of them you can still see the lovely stencil detail underneath, but if you lose it, don't worry, because we have another technique to go on top of this still. So don't worry if you lose some of your design, because we're going to put it back in. Let's get a little bit more black. And again, if you haven't got the steadiest of hands, again, it's a stencil, isn't it? You can be creative. Add your own detail or your own work in there. So basically I'm just painting the detail back in there. As quick as I can, so you all don't get bored. If you're anything like me, you'll have the attention span of a nit. Let's have a look. If you struggle to blend black, just add more water. Is it Margaret? Margaret? Yeah, just add more water. It just, black is a little bit of a tough one. So I'm just going to set that aside. Let's move back to our coloured one. And as you can see, we've lost pretty much all of the detail in there, but that's fine. Just going to make sure it's dry. As long as I can see some of the detail. So food for thought when you're doing yours, don't oversaturate, or else you're going to lose a lot of the detail. But because I know where the card's going, it's okay. You probably don't know where we're going with this card as of yet, which is fine. So let's swap our pad out for some of the colours that are in there. So here I'm just going to paint some of the lovely detail back in. Just going to follow the lines, and if my lines disappear, it's okay, because we've got to put the detail back in with our stencil anyway. So just for the ones that I can see. Do some of the lovely red. It's not very red, is it? Let's so I'm just painting variations of the detail back in there from what's left anyway. So from what I can see, it's allowing me to put back in, which is fine. I'm not being over precious about it. It is a piece of artwork at the end of the day, and it's going to literally be lathered in splats too. So I'm just trying to mimic where I can see. I can't see it all, but I am actually going for it. Probably that wasn't actually the right place to put that, but we'll go for it. There we go. So let's dry these two off and let's move on to the next stage. So if you are wanting to, you know, be a little bit arty and, you know, play and enhance your cards rather than just stenciling through with a bit of ink and ta-da, then this is a great way to elevate, i.e. layers and colour and splats and things like that. So let's get these two dry. The palette's in stock in a couple of weeks. I'll let you all know as soon as they land. And this is the watercolour card, the Carter. But if you have watercolour card and you've stashed that works, you know you can use that. So I did lose practically all of the detail on that larger leaf. Must have sprayed it a little bit too much. But anyway, so artwork piece number one, bring our stencil back in. And this is where the detail comes to life. So I'm just going to pop it back in its place. And we're going to go, let's pop some of the same colours back in. And this is where you just need to be a little bit more careful because you're aiming to get within those stenciled areas now. So now we are going to absolutely add that colour, and then we're going to, this is basically going to put those lines back in. See where I've painted it there in the blue, so I'm going to mimic what I've painted underneath if I can. I'm just going to twist it round. And then we need to pop some, let's go with the other blue. See if this enhances it. And this is the great thing about stencils. You can pop colour on, take it off, splash it out, add it in, smear it in, texture it in, use your texture pastes on top. So versatile. Really don't get the credit they deserve to say they're a flimsy bit of plastic, eh? So in a sense, what we've done with the bleeding part at the back is what we do with stamps, you know, where we stamp it once and we spray it with water and let it bleed, and then we go back over with the with a different colour. So we can see now, can we see now? How it's come back to life, it's popped those lines back in, can we see that there? So now what we need to do is make it look super arty. So here we go, this is where the fun begins for me. So lots of black on my brush. This is where you get cramp in your finger. Let's pop some colour on here. So all the colours that we've mimicked, that we've used in the actual image, go on top of your image. and just go for it and go for it and go. In fact, I would say don't stop until you've used all your colours on your Posh palette. But try and stick with the colours that are within, apart from when you come to use your gouache, which I'm hoping I have to hand. Right, let's just see if I've got my gouache. I have. Yay! So when I was referring to my gouache, it's basically, it's just a thicker consistency, so you get, it's less opaque, you can't see through it as much. So you can use your acrylics or the gouache, Himi or Maya. I don't have mine to hand, this is what I have, so I'm just going to pop some on my mat here. Just giving it a nice mix. I'm just splatting it with white now. And again, it's still, albeit it's less opaque, still does dry back pretty much lighter, so just go for it. So I'm just going to leave that now, set that aside. Let's bring this piece in. So I'll just clean my brush. A stencil and a mask. A stencil normally is held within a frame, whereas a mask doesn't have an outline. So these don't have outlines. So you can move them around and create various masks. You can go around the outside and create a mask. I think that's what they mean. Let's have a look. Are there any questions? Massive blobs. Yeah, sometimes that happens to me too. So I'm just going to pop this back on. And we're just going to add the detail back in a little bit. So let's go with the red. So this time you have to be careful and stay within that stencil, remember. And this is going to put your lines back in, but then you'll have the rainbow come through underneath. So if you've got yellow or whatever colours underneath. You can chop up your colours, you can go back in with the same colours as you did before. I'm just going on with red so you can see it on screen, because I really want you to see that by doing the 2-layer system you do get a difference. So you know, the painting element of it is a good starting point, but again, do we need to do it? I haven't done it much on this one, and this one's probably going to look equally as beautiful, so it's personal preference really, I think. Make sure it's straight. So I'm sorry I'm not looking up to see if there's anybody talking or saying anything. I'm just getting this colour on here. Oops. And hopefully we have our leaf back in. I'm going to have to just add some around the outside though, guys, because I'm losing the detail on the outside. This will just bring it back. There we go. He's back, thank goodness. Hey. So let's mimic the colours on this one too then. So I'm just going to get rid of those blacks and blues from there. So let's get some splats on here too. Okay, Carol, we're all thinking about you, sweetheart. You don't have to say what it is, but you all know we're here if you need us. The size of the brush, no, it doesn't affect just your size of your splats. It basically, if you hold it higher up, you get a bigger splat. If you hold it lower, you get a smaller splat, because obviously if it's high, the longer it has to fall, it gets bigger and bigger. So if you want big ones, go as high as possible. If you want small ones, just go as close as possible. So you're not really seeing much of this orange, but I'm going to go for it anyway. And then the true beauty of these sorts of effects, and you get to this stage and you think, right, I enjoyed doing it, but it's not great. What am I going to do with it now? I'm going to just pick up some red out of my watercolour palette here because the pads are just not delivering. There we go. You're thinking, well, what am I going to do with it now? It's like, I don't know what to do with it. How do I? I'm going to show you now. Plenty of splats on there if you've got the courage to do it. And then let's do some of the lovely yellow too. And some more white. Your metallic splats would look fab on here too. So if you've got your metallic paints, they would look great. Don't know if you can see those splats there, but they are there. They are there. They are all over my table. They are all over my jumper. Let's leave that there. Okay, so let's just tidy up a little bit. And then let's make it into a card, hey? Make something pretty. Just going to spray my table. There we go, so let's dry these two off with our gun. I have some more wax seals on the way, and again when they land I'll let you all know. The sets, yes Doreen, I'm getting some more, darling. Okay, see you later Selma. You're welcome, sweetheart. So which is your best so far? Not the splats on the table, Maxine. The card. I don't seal my work, Janet, I really don't. I just make sure it's absolutely dry. And then I just leave it as is. I do seal my envelopes though. So if I've stamped and watercoloured on an envelope, obviously if the postman's walking around with the mail in his hand and it's raining, any watercolour piece or masterpiece that's on there is going to smudge. So I do seal my envelopes, and I seal it with the Tim Holtz Distress Glaze. And it's a little pot about this big. It's wonderful, and it's like a wax, and basically you just pop it on your finger and you rub it over your whole envelope and it seals it, it makes it waterproof, and it doesn't smudge what's underneath. So if you want to do that, it's Tim Holtz Distress Glaze to seal your envelopes. I suppose you could seal this if you wanted to, but I always find that these are going to be absolutely fine. So let's grab our Eureka here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the sentiments from our academy. So let's see what we've got or what we've used so far. As I have a whole bunch of them here, look. So we have explore, let's do explore. So we'll do explore on the blue one. And we will do, let's have a look. Stay positive from the smile, which is the swing. Okay, so we're gonna mix it up a little bit, which is nice because, you know, we don't just have to use them for Craft Academy. So let's pop this one in first. I'm just going to do them neat black. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I always stamp my sentiment through my artwork. Okay, so I could pop it down here and it would look beautiful. So yeah, no problem at all. But it does look better if you can pop it through your artwork. So I'm going to pop it through here. And I'm going to stamp it in pure black. So I'm using Explore for this one, and I'm stamping it straight through my artwork. And if you have the courage to do it, oh my gosh, it makes your artwork look so cool. Let's just do it one more time. This probably could do with some more white splots, but hey ho. So they can see that. There we go. So that's that one. Let's bring our red one in. And for our red one, we will swap it out and we will use Stay Positive. And this is a bigger one. So this shows you how different your cards look if you use a chunkier one or a thin one. So here, look, I'm just making sure that that stamp is connected to my artwork in some way. Shall we go? No, let's just connect it there. Be happy with it being there. Then we'll stamp this one in black too. At least the video's on YouTube. Just get rid of that black mark there. At least the video's on YouTube. So if you are wanting to craft along later maybe, you can stop, rewind, go back, pause with the stages. You will probably find as you do it though, that you'll probably skip one of the stages. You probably think, well, I don't want to paint it. I don't want to paint it in. Well, don't paint it in. You'll find your own little way. Let me just stamp again. So there we have. Oh. Pretty neat, hey? Now, to finish, because I just like to go on and on and on and never know when to stop because I'm a faffer. So I'm just going to use my sparkle pen here. And I'm just going to add some sparkle on top of this lovely. I'm just going to paint in that lovely detail. So that's sparkly, not too much. I'm doing it relatively quick. And don't forget, it is Tim Holtz ink, so it will reactivate. So quickly add the sparkle and then quickly leave. And then you end up with a sparkly. See that there? Hope you can see that there. So this would lend itself really well to some sparkly gems, some sequins, but let me show you how different it looks as soon as we pop it on a card. So I have this one here which has got the lovely blue. So let's put some tape behind. If it allows. Ooh. And I'll pop some glue too. So as soon as you, just be careful when you are sticking it down because some of those blobs of paint still might not be dry. Right, I'm just going to pop that under my Eureka until we've done the other one. so that's nice and flat. And then with this one, let's just pop some glue because my tape pen's out. And then this one I've just popped on a splash of black to make that red pop. Can we see that there? I'll give that a good push down. Hopefully that will grab nicely. Just give it a second or two. So I'll stand them both up in a second and then you can see which the blue is your favourite. Is it, Jackie? Not sure. I don't know which I like. I always start thinking I'm going to love one and always like the other. That's just me. But anyway, so let's grab our lovely card. So I hope you've enjoyed those two little techniques. And sometimes I do feel like going crafting like off the cuff, not planned as such, but with a vision. I do love to do that. So we have the lovely size. Come on, stick, you silly thing. Quickly stick. There we have our lovely red one, which is from the larger, more circular one. And then we have our lovely blue one. There we go. So those big sentiments, people are like, oh, they're a bit big, those sentiments, but they're perfect for your cards and stencil work and things. This looks very snowy, this blue one, doesn't it? Like a wintry scene. So, but I really like it. Yeah, something different. I do like to play, and you guys allow me to do that, which is fabulous. So I'll post a picture after the show. Do let me know your thoughts and comments. What I will say is please, please, please don't forget to click the like button and comment below this video on YouTube after the show. We get a wider reach and people can see more of our videos. And if you've got anything you'd like to see, any feedback, comments, did you enjoy the show, which was your best card, just let us know. I do read them. They don't go unnoticed or unheard. I do my best to read everything, whether it be on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram. I do try and get through it all. So thank you so, so much for joining me today. Tomorrow's a fun day, 11 o'clock for my Facebook Live. 1 o'clock we'll have a run through the brand new stamps and maybe do some Christmas craft. We'll have a look. And then I think I'm back with you on Saturday. We'll have to see. It depends. I will keep you posted. So I'll see you all tomorrow at 11. Don't forget to pop a comment below. Thank you. See you all later. Bye.